Hi and welcome back. There's been a lot happening energetically. I had like friends calling me, telling me they were like, there's been so much release happening. I felt like maybe I could do an energetic support and activation session for the collective to help with these energies. But when I sat down, what I've received was more like a stream of information to share with you guys as to what's to come, which is a big crop and big reveal on the world stage. So I'm just gonna pass around what I have received, and just please take what resonates with you and discards the rest. So the first image that I saw was like a giant tree and being chopped and cut clean. Now, I'm sorry, Rose. This tree was huge and it was super bushy. And to me, it represented like a harvest, but a big, substantial harvest. And the reason I'm saying that is if you think of a garden, and a garden, you plant in the spring, you harvest it in the fall, and then you have food for the winter type of thing. But a tree is a lot more substantial in the way that you can make lumber from it, and then you can make furniture, and this furniture will last you a lifetime. So what I'm seeing is for some of you, perhaps all of you, you may have had like a project that you put a lot of energy into and not much in return because you had to wait for this tree to grow. You really had to wait for these energies to grow. And now you're about to make a harvest with that project. So, and it's going to be quite substantial, perhaps even sustainable for a lifetime. This is what I'm seeing. I'm just reporting what I'm seeing. So if that applies to you, congratulations. I have no doubt that it was probably not an easy journey to keep putting energy into something that at the time was not giving anything back. But now there's going to be results happening and it's going to be quite substantial. So again, I'm just reporting what I'm seeing. The next thing that I saw was a sand timer, and the time almost like running out. There's just a few grain of sand in that sand timer, and from there it would shift what we're seeing in the world stage. I don't know exactly what's going to shift. I don't have any thing. Like the analogy that I'm getting is like good people that we thought were like good, now we're realizing they're not that great. Or people we thought were maybe like evil, we're like, oh my god, like there's a shift in perception as to how we see certain things on a global scale. And I don't think it's people in particular. I'm just shared that analogy for ease of understanding, but really what I perceive is like events. So it could be like, I don't know, like global warming, and it was like, oh my god, it's terrible. And then we found out, oh, actually it's a good thing that it's happening. And I'm not saying like global warming is great. I'm just trying to demonstrate what the energies felt to me. What I saw is something happening globally on the world change, on the world scale, our perception of it shifting due to some XY event or information being revealed. So it's interesting to me because usually I don't quite tap into world global energies, but this is what's happening. This is what came through. So I'm just going with the flow here. Another thing that I saw was like a scale, and that's more like on the personal level, and a scale being incredibly off balance, feeling incredibly heavier on one side. And when I tried to rectify it, to bring it back to balance, I saw a giant eye opening. What I felt from that and what I saw, and I feel the guidance is that, is like, if there are some imbalances in your life, in your personal life, that perhaps it's time for you to literally open your eyes and either look at it differently or seek more information. And I feel for some of you, maybe all of you, maybe one of you, there is going to be information coming in. And this information, the way it felt like to me, may actually shake you to your core. may change your entire belief system or question your belief system and your core values and what you thought the world was because of this information. But this is what is needed to actually restore the scale. So information coming in, or perhaps actively you can call in for the truth. If you feel there are some imbalances in your life, there's an invitation for you to call in for truth. What is the truth of that matter? And understand that perhaps, yes, this truth is not going to be easy to digest, but it is imperative to open ourselves to that truth if we want to right that scale and coming back into balance within a situation or relationships into our lives. So whether we're dealing with world events here or whether we're talking about personal things coming in a light that's going to shake our belief system, there is a reminder there to remember our Buddha nature, our Buddhahood, our being who's just there in presence, who allows energies to come and go without any attachment, to stay grounded, to stay centered. Though even if this information really trigger us in some ways or triggers some kind of response, that we have the tools to stay grounded. There's an invitation to remain present with this information and not allowing it to sway us one way or the other, to just stay grounded. Yes, it may take some time to integrate. Yes, there may be a lot of questions in regards to this information we're going to be receiving, and also showing ourselves of empathy and compassion as we're receiving this information, to understand that yes, it may take some time to integrate. I'm just going to allow myself a breather there to understand that not all of the answers to our questions going to come right away. Perhaps to become a little bit comfortable with this uncomfortable feeling of being in between of, I thought this was my reality, but now it's completely shattered. And just to give an example, it could be like, you took a DNA test because you wanted to find out about your family ancestry, and then there's information that comes in, you're like, whoa, my tree is not what I thought it was. What happened there? This is not supposed to show up like that, type of thing. This is just an example. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm just translating the energies for you to help you understand that this is what I'm currently seeing in the collective energies these days. So thank you very much. If you like these kinds of videos, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that this content is valuable, that it's helpful to people, and it encourages me to make more of it. So again, thank you very much for watching. My name is Isabelle, and enjoy the rest of your day.